MattOshea has been one of the most dominant casters this season at 4-0, and he looks to keep his streak alive against PokeaimMD, who's struggled so far this season with his fire deck, but looks to bounce back with a unique strategy this week. Don't forget to check out Elestriad.com for all the latest standings, results, and more. Matt kicks off this week opening up 12 packs and finds a handful of holos, which his team is pumped up for.
Oh my god, yes, I got a more frost. I'm happy.
Let's
I can play more frost.
I'm morphing!
Oh, okay, I got the broth again too. I could do
rip it
now.
on stream for one. Rip it on stream for a real one.
I am not doing that.
Come on.
Pokeaim on the other side hits a Sonicore, Exaltair, and a big Altar of Stars, among a handful of other epic holos. I'd love to see him use that Leonite at some point this season. With new cards in their arsenal, let's hear from MattOshea on how he plans to build his deck for this week.
So my strategy for this week's clash against Joey Pokeaim is pretty straightforward. It's just stick a big guy to the field and then just win the game from there. Right now I'm looking at it, his strategy has like 5 counter runes he can effectively use against me because he can't use Tsunami against my water Elestrals, but what's more important is he can really only play like 4 different strategies against me that are all kind of related to fire. He can play Eruption, he can play Humbust Mill, he can play Fire Good Stuff, and he can play Trifernal. Those are the 4 strategies, and the deck we've built kind of counters all of them decently well. So I'm pretty excited to see what we can do. We also, of course, have our Night Still tech being the Rise from the Depths, if I can find it. There we go, Rise from the Depths, which is going to be great if he's playing Mill. Our big guys kind of handle everything else, and we have removal here just in case he is on the Trifernal variant. But I'm feeling good. Hopefully we can get the win, move on to 5-0 on the season, and just bring our team closer and closer to winning the Elestriad. So that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the clash.
It seems like Matt is going back to what's worked all season long, a 5-guys strategy with Lavalit and a heavy arsenal of runes and removal. I told you guys Pokeaim cooked something different this week. Let's hear it from him.
I probably have one of the worst records, and I'm fighting the person who has one of the best records and has been killing it this Elestriad. We are fighting the Cryo Scorches, and that's why I am playing Cryo Scorch this week. Just one little copy. See, the combo is pretty simple. Hopefully I get him down to about 4 spirits at the end of the game. And during my draw phase, I play Helios Chariot Ride, stop him from being able to activate runes. Hopefully this works. And then I play Cryoling into Cryovern into Cryo Scorch. When Cryo Scorch gets in the field, every rune is destroyed. And then I activate its ability that I sack all my spirits to do 5 to them and win the game. That's the goal. It's not going to go that easy. I probably won't even see this card, but we'll see what happens.
Helios Chariot Ride is big, and I love that Pokeaim is trying to use Matt's water against him to dodge cards like Tsunami and Galaxy's Swap Effect. The Blizzard is also a super cool card to ensure he can turbo out his Cryovern and Cryo Scorch for maximum damage. And it looks like MattOshea is kicking this one off against my boy Pokeaim, and we're going to see the Nectar of the Gods here for the Watercaster MattOshea. I gotta say, we saw the 2-team breakdowns. I love what Joey did this week. He has not been afraid to try some different things, even though it hasn't necessarily worked out for him so far. We saw him bring Mill. We've seen his team bring some really cool strategies around fire. This week using some water this time, and then also trying to turbo into Cryo Scorch with cards like Helios Chariot Ride. I love that. We're going to see the Dratagua here from MattOshea, healing up 2 spirits, kind of nullifying the impacts of that Nectar of the Gods. But if you're Joey, you have an opportunity to get a stronger Water Elestral or Fire Elestral like a Necrofat here to try to take out this Dratagua. Looks like he's forced to pass his turn, which means he didn't have any answers for it. And now he's going to face down a Misenchanted Sorlet, enchanted with a Water Spirit. Now, if a Galaxy does ever come onto the field, which we know Pokeaim is running, that could actually make that Sorlet weaker than you would otherwise expect. If 2 Galaxy hit the field at the same time, then you actually have them canceling each other out effectively. Pokeaim loses 2 spirits there from the Dratagua and the Sorlet. Do not be surprised if there is a Tsunami face down in MattOshea's Rune Row, as it's one of the crucial staple cards of the water deck to try to turn the tides and prevent your opponent from attacking you. Pokeaim seems to be hitting Brick City as he's forced to expend a spirit to draw an additional card. He does have the Resting on Your Laurels, so he's going to be able to clear the Dratagua off the field. So very good plays there from Joey, and actually he's fueling his Underworld with Frost Spirits and maybe giving MattOshea something to think about. I see MattOshea actually peeking in the corner of his eye, looking at those Frost Spirits and giving a nod to himself. That may be a sign that he realizes something is up here. This may not be your typical, fire deck that Pokeaim's been running most of the season, but rather something that has a little bit of a different element to it. and that's something that MattOshea is probably digging in his memory bank thinking, wow, is he running Morphrost? What is the strategy here? Sorlet is able to attack for 1, bringing PokeAim down after Matt opts to go for an expend to draw, and PokeAim does a quick count of his Spirit deck as he goes to try to execute this Cryoling strategy into Cryovern. Now, we're going to see a face-down Earthquake here from PokeAim. He's going to immediately take out that Sorlet, and now, after a resting on your laurels and an Earthquake, he has an opportunity to get advantage of this board state for the first time in this clash. Does he have an Elestral? He's got the Nectar of the Gods, so he's using a lot of spirits right now to control this board, but he has an opportunity to make a big push right now as he's going to expend 2 spirits to be able to draw 2 cards through the cast of Nectar of the Gods. Looking for his first Elestral of the game, and it is going to be an Astrabit. MattOshea's only answer here would be a Gorgon's Gaze or a Poison-Tipped Arrow, but he likely lets it happen and just deals with the rabbit in defense position. But let's see if he has one of those counter runes to try to slow it down. Looks like he's really thinking about this one. Astrabit could be a very difficult Elestral to take out, and it looks like PokeAim is able to get the effect to resolve and then go for a Nectar of the Gods again, bringing him down to just 8 spirits left. I think if you're Joey, the one concern you have here is you have so few spirits compared to MattOshea, and Matt has a deck that really kind of revolves around sustainability. So, you know, in Elestrals, you have to pay spirits to be able to cast your cards. So as you get towards the lower part here, it can be a little difficult. But this is big. PokeAim's going to fire out a Galaxy right now, and MattOshea might be a little shocked because all of a sudden he's got to contend with 2 very strong Elestrals that are pretty good against him. And there's the Ambrosia from PokeAim as well, getting this big heal off, and he's right back in this one, especially if he's able to get some damage off here into MattOshea, bring him down to 14 spirits. We'll see if PokeAim decides to go offensive with his rabbit, or if he's going to just opt to keep it in defense position to kind of hold that stance. But Ambrosia is big. Again, healing up 3 spirits at this part of the clash. I think PokeAim ideally finds another Ambrosia. I think if it's, you know, he's probably looking for another one. But what he doesn't want to do is he doesn't really want to grab those Frost Spirits. He actually wants to continue to use them so he can get Cryoling out. We're going to see Astrabit does change his position into attack position and has an opportunity to deal some damage here. MattOshea most likely not responding. Gonna just take 2 spirits. He knows he's gonna take 2 water off the top, and he will be dropped down to 14. If you're Matt, you're not too worried because you probably have another Toggle at some point, and you have different things that can get you into that. But he's got double fire. Here comes Lavalith. This is the card that you gotta be scared of. Lavalith, such a powerful Elestral, can immediately come down to the field when you are behind 2 or more enchanting spirits. In this case, MattOshea is. Joey is going to be looking for an answer to respond here, but we're going to wait and see what that target from Lavalith is first. It's Gorgon's Gaze, and I think you chain it here if you're Joey. The reason being is you're going to lose your Gorgons anyway. By using 2 spirits on it, you prevent the Lavalith from being able to attack, which saves your Galaxy or your Astrabit, and you're going to effectively lose a spirit from that damage, plus you lose the Elestral. So the Gorgons and chain here is really good. Joey gets a little lucky, I would say. Maybe not lucky, but it's a win for him that it seems that Matt did pick the Gorgon's Gaze, and he's prepared with the Earthquake. Huge plays from PokeAim. This game is real close now all of a sudden as Lavalith is gone, and if PokeAim's able to get a 3rd Elestral to the field and potentially get a little healing going here, it could be massive. We're going to see Small Tuga come out paired with Galaxy. That's another 5 attacker. This is huge for PokeAim, and really the best counterplay on Matt's end is a Mustache at this point, right? Getting Mustache out as a 6 attacker would be the best way to deal with this offensive barrage of water that PokeAim is bringing. The big curveball. There's some really unique synergies between water and fire that PokeAim is exploring this week. Grabbing that Necruff, he's going to be able to do some big damage here. It looks like 3 spirits of damage into MattOshea. It's very possible that some of those face down runes are indeed tsunamis, so we're going to see big damage here. PokeAim down to just 4 spirits, but if you factor what's on the field, he's actually got 7 compared to MattOshea's 9. Matt gonna draw for his turn. He's gonna be trying to make a big play here. He's got 1 Fire Spirit into a Necruff. That's gonna be a properly enchanted Necruff, which means that when it does attack into this Astrabit, it will deal 1 spirit of damage. And let's be real, PokeAim does not have a lot of spirits to play with. He is gonna take that hit, and he will be forced to expend as well. However, this is it. If PokeAim can find a way to get off a little bit of healing and then a Helios Cherry Ride into Cryo Scorch, he could win this one, but he's going to opt to go with the Necruff strategy instead Unfortunately for PokeaimMD, he's going to have to take a Spirit of damage if he crashes his Necruff. He does go for that play. His Necruff goes down. They both expend a Spirit as a result. Galaxy and Smoltuga are going to be able to attack directly into MattOshea. We haven't seen him make any sort of a response for this play up until this point, so he's likely to just take the 2 spirits of damage, and a big play here from PokeaimMD. It is worth noting Joey down to just 1 spirit left in this clash. His options are going to be reduced here because now you take cards like Shield of Achilles kind of out of play. You take cards like Gorgon's Gaze kind of out of play. They're still in play, but you're going to, lose an Elestral to play them. So here comes a Water Spirit. Is that an Ambrosia? It is huge Ambrosia from MattOshea at a crucial time in this clash. PokeaimMD thought he was super close, but MattOshea, he might have been holding that Ambrosia for a while, let's be honest. It's very possible that he's been holding on to that one and waits for the perfect time to cast it. A Thunder Spirit here from MattOshea into an Astrabit. That's going to provide him a defensive barrier to add cards to his hand, further solidify his resource. He knows at this point he just needs to survive because it's going to be very unlikely for PokeaimMD to be able to push through without something stronger. This is where PokeaimMD is looking for a Mustache. It looks like he's forced to draw pass. He is looking for Mustache. He needs, oh no! The Galaxy hits the field. That reverse swaps all of their stats, which means that both Galaxy are tied. If you're MattOshea, you can simply crash the 2 Galaxies here. You really lose nothing in that, and that's exactly what he's going to do. Smoltuga is left with 2 attack now. We'll see what Joey's going to do. He is going to change his Smoltuga to defense position, recognizing I'm really kind of running out of options, and he's going to be forced to pass. And MattOshea, all he needs to do is find something a little stronger, a Lavalith or a Mustache, but he gets Dratagua out, and again, just as it looks like PokeaimMD is right in this one, MattOshea is able to heal up with Ambrosia and Dratagua and continue to sustain himself in this clash and make it so PokeaimMD's offensive aggro fire deck simply cannot push through. MattOshea can choose to heal, but he is going to go offensive here. Galaxy hits the field. That's going to flip Smoltuga to have 2 defense, and now Galaxy and Dratagua can attack forward. One of them can take out the Smoltuga, and the other can attack directly, and that is going to seal this game. PokeaimMD gonna fold. He has a Helios. He's got a Necruff. He's got a Smoltuga. He was not finding his Narpoon or his Cryoling in this one, and MattOshea dominates and goes to 5-0 for this season of the Elestriad. We'll see you guys for an epic clash tomorrow.